All right, boys, welcome back. Today is Friday, August 29th, 2025. And after 2 months away, I am back home. And as you can see, as soon as I started talking, my dog got out of here as fast as he could. He wanted no part of this podcast, and neither should you. But that's why you should click and subscribe and say hello. Let me change this over to this. There we go. Okay, wait, no, that's the wrong camera, though. That's the camera. It has been a minute since I've been here. It has been a while. That layout doesn't look good. I mean, we can go with this layout for now, I suppose. We could. No, we're not going to go with this one. Not that one. And I have a scroll and then the small me. All right, we'll go with this one for now. But how are you doing, guys? It has been a while. It has been. I mean, I think my last stream was like June 17th or something. It was like a day or two, maybe even the night before I left. And I just got home last night after 2 months away, basically a month and a half. Actually, it was more like a month and 3/4. I was gone, I think, for 8 weeks, roughly a little bit more than 8 weeks. But I was gone for about 8 weeks. And I was in Bolivia for the last 2 weeks, which means I was in Africa for 6 weeks. And it's good to be back. It's good to be home. I just got home last night, like I said. Oh my God. Let me tell you about. So the thing is like, Not Sure is in the room, and he says, "I'm back, y'all." Yes, Not Sure is back. I'm back. Now we just need to get Matthew here, and the whole crew will be back. But I want to talk about this night's sleep I had last night, which was absolutely amazing. Now, you got to understand, to get home from Bolivia, though there's a couple of ways to do it, but the quickest way by far is to take a flight from La Paz, Bolivia, which is where I was staying at the end of my trip. So from La Paz, Bolivia to Bogota, and it's not Bogota or Bogota. So I had to take a flight from La Paz to Bogota. But here's the kicker. Excuse me, I just literally scarfed down like $35 worth of Taco Bamba, so I might be a little gassy. But so you got to take this flight from La Paz to Bogota, and then from Bogota to Washington D.C. Right? So it's really easy. It's just one transfer. It's very simple, easy to do. However, the flight from Bogota to No, God damn it! I'm trying to do two things at once. Let me breathe. The flight from La Paz to Bogota leaves at 3:30 in the morning. 3:30 in the morning. Who's got time for that? So you got to leave. So you got to be at the airport at like 12:30. And what are you going to do? You're going to go to sleep at like 7 p.m. and wake up and you just every time I have done that flight, I just end up staying up the entire time, which is awful. But so I stayed up. And, of course, by like me, I'm in bed by 10 o'clock. Just about every night, I'm in bed by 10 o'clock. And wouldn't you know it, like I'm starting to get tired. But I make myself, I drink a soda, I make myself go to the airport. But the thing is, I cannot sleep on planes. I have never been able to sleep on an airplane. I just can't. For whatever reason, I have never been able to sleep on an airplane. So I stayed up all night. Now, of course, I do sit there and I drift a little bit, but there's no concept of a deep sleep. So you take the flight from La Paz to Bogota, which lands in Bogota at like 5:30 in the morning, and then you hop on a flight to go literally an hour and a half later, which is pretty nice because it's a quick transfer, and then you boom, you're on a plane headed to Washington, which is about a 5-hour flight from Bogota to Colombia. And tried to sleep on that a little bit. Of course you can't. I can't. So I got home. I walked in my door, I think, at around 2:30 p.m. yesterday afternoon, having not slept. So what are your options at that point? Your options are to go take a nap, or to just go to sleep, or to stay up. I will always choose to stay up. And so what I did is I stayed up until 9 p.m. and I got in bed. Now, here's another thing I should mention. Not Sure says, my friend said to always do the transfers in the USA if at all possible. I don't. Why? Like, I mean, I transfer in plenty of other countries. I don't necessarily agree or disagree. Actually, I would say a transfer in the USA is worse. It's worse because let's say you have to go from Bolivia to Detroit. I'm just making things up. From Bolivia to Detroit. So if you fly from like Bolivia to Miami and then Miami to Detroit, that means you have to go through passport control. When you get to the first destination of your country, you have to go through passport control, which is going to take time. So I would say you actually have a greater risk of missing your flight if you do that. That's just my 2 cents. But what was I saying? I was talking about something. I completely forgot what I was talking. Oh, so but when I was in Bolivia, for the 2 weeks I was in Bolivia, I could not sleep for the life of me. For 2 weeks. Normally, I acclimate in Bolivia because La Paz is very, very high up. And normally I will acclimate after a couple of days. But I mean, I acclimated, but I could not sleep more than 3 hours at a time. Just 3 hours at a time. I am not sure it says no AC. No, it wasn't a matter of no AC. It wasn't no AC because La Paz is always very chilly. So La Paz is like 12,000 feet up in the air. And so it's never really hot there. And if anything, it's cold. But anyway, I the most I could do, that's La Paz, California or Mexico or something. There we go. See? But so what was I saying? Oh yeah. So I couldn't get more than 3 hours worth of sleep on any given night. I would sleep 3 hours, wake up, use the bathroom, go back to sleep, and then I would sleep for like an hour, maybe 2 hours if I was lucky. Like it was just a series of night after night of uninterrupted sleep. So having gone 2 weeks without a decent night's sleep, and then on the final night, having not slept at all, I got in bed last night at about 9 o'clock. And I'm addicted to Ambien, so I still took like a half an Ambien, and and it was so amazing. It was so amazing. I fell asleep probably a little before 10 o'clock, because there was one point like when I got in bed where you ever been so tired, you ever been like too tired to fall asleep? Like that was kind of the state I was in. And I was like trying to like, I guess what happens is your body is like, well, crap, we're going to have to operate on reserves. So it kicks up those reserves and now you're wired, but you're tired, but you're wired. You're wired and tired. But anyway, I eventually got to sleep. I fell asleep a little before 10 o'clock. I did not sleep. I mean, I did not wake. I did not wake up until 6 a.m. It was beautiful. It was so amazing. It was just, oh my God. It was one of the best night sleeps ever. And it kind of makes me want to go back to La Paz and stay up all night just so I can do it again. I mean, who knows? But here's the thing. Like normally, other than taking drugs to fall asleep, I am normally a good sleeper. Like I would say 80% of my nights, I have a solid 4 to 6 hours of sleep. So, I mean, like when I was in Cape Town, when I was in Africa, I think just about everywhere I was, I got good night's sleeps. But especially in Cape Town, like when I was in Cape Town, I slept a solid 6 hours every night, sometimes more, right? Good night's sleep all the time. But Bolivia, man, So I don't know. So I'm curious to see how I do tonight. I'm hoping for at least 6. We'll see what happens. Not sure says some food messes with my sleep. Groggy, but too much caffeine. Too much caffeine. Here it is, 7 o'clock, and I'm getting ready to have a Diet Mountain Dew. Drool sleep is the best, where you're just drooling on your pillow and you wake up and you have that moist spot. Like, right? Because I fall asleep on my back, but I always wake up on my right side. So at some point I turn onto my right side, but yeah, you get that little like drool, you get that like, or you get that like cake saliva feeling on the side of your lip where you're like drooling and it was all coming out and then it just dries right there. All right. So I know, so let me fix this. I know that my camera is squishy. What do we got here? Okay. The only problem with this one is I do not see, let me see. I want to get the I want to get the chat in here. Where it has been so long since I've streamed. I don't know normally. Okay. No, that layout's dumb. That layout's really dumb. Look how big my camera is. No. Okay, these are all the Be Right Backs. There's this one. All right. I think I'm going to go with this one, but I'm going to swap out the I would swap out the camera. Now that's the YouTube. Let's see. I can put this over here so you guys can see. You can get a little. You can get a little. View into the behind the scenes, if you will. All right. No, that's not it. Okay. Wait. Oh no. Okay. Display. Where is the camera? YouTube chat. Display capture. Pet cam. There it is. Right there in front of me. Can I just change this? Let me see. USB camera. What does this do? That didn't work. Okay. All right. Okay. So we turned that camera back on. All right. You know what? I got a better solution for this. Okay. Not sure says, I like you on the right side. Are you talking about cuddling? I bet you are. You're talking about cuddling. I know you are. Okay. No, let's see. What is the, no, this one? This one's not good. No. I think what we'll do is we'll go with this one. It says chat, and this is the whiteboard chat. Which one did I normally do? What happened to the one that I normally go with? Was it this one? Is this the one I normally go with? That doesn't feel right. Yeah. We're gonna stick with this for no. I got a good solution for this one. Yep. All right. There we go. Oh, shit. Oh, God. Everything's falling apart. Just give me a minute. Technical difficulties. Okay. This room, it's a bit of a mess. Well, we got it. I like being big spoon, but it's nice to be small spoon sometimes. I have never been a small. I know that some guys like being small spoon. I've never been a small spoon guy. I don't like it. I don't hate it, but it's not my favorite thing, right? Because it's like I get a similar feeling to guys that like to be little spoon. I get a similar feeling to adults that go to Disney without children. Like those are like kind of like in the same like compartment, right? They're not the same thing, but they're in the same general neighborhood is how I see it. Like men that like to be little spoon and adults that like to go to Disney without children. Like adults who will literally take a 7-day vacation to go down to Disney World by themselves. Or, with their partner, with their spouse. Like, I do not get that. And like men who like to be little spoon, it feels weird, right? Because like typically I don't think I'm unique in this way, but typically I will date or be married to very petite women. My wife is a very petite woman. My ex before her was a very petite woman. I think to get back to a non-petite woman, I have to go back probably like 4 or 5 girlfriends. And even that woman was kind of petite, but she was tall. She was a little bit shorter than me. And like, so, but anyway, so it's I forget what I was talking about. I don't like being a little spoon because it's kind of ridiculous, right? Because like I'm not a big guy, but I'm not a small guy, and then a petite woman like trying to like what are you doing? Like it feels like it's kind of like when I'm laying on my stomach and my cat will come like sit on my back, and like I don't hate it, but it's like, well, okay, all right, I guess this is what we're doing now. So now, I like being big spoon. But that's a man's role, right? That's what a man does. A man is big spoon. Like that's just how it is. And of course, when you got the spoon, like you've got your hand, like well, depending on what side you're both on, you know where the hand goes. Like it's just natural where the hand goes. That's just where the hand goes. So anyway, all right. Enough about grabbing boobs and spooning. Let's oh God, it's been a while. It's been a long time. I added some new points to my map. I went to 1, 2, 3, 4 countries. Not as many as I had hoped originally, but we're gonna do a trip recap is what we're gonna do. So I flew from Washington the day I left to Cape Town. Now I got to tell you, Cape Town is turning out to be one of my favorite cities in the world. if not my most favorite city in the world. Cape Town is just it. And it's not even about like the nightlife. Like, I don't know anything about the nightlife. It's not even, it's just, it's beautiful. It is such a beautiful place. It is an incredibly beautiful city. I've been to a lot of cities in my time, humble brag, but Cape Town is by far one of the, if not the most beautiful city I've ever been to. So I ended up staying in Cape Town for a long time, for much longer than I expected. But when I got to Africa, I was only in Cape Town for about 5 days. And then I flew over to Johannesburg, which is kind of like, well, you know, it's kind of a dump, I guess is a good way to put it. Johannesburg wasn't terrible, but it was just kind of like, I think after being in Cape Town for so long, and then you go to Johannesburg and you're like, like it's just disappointing, right? It's like if you're dating a high school cheerleader and then you go to dating like a 200-pound frumpy single mom. Like, it's just, like, you know what I mean? It's just not good. It's not good. And so Johannesburg was what it was. It was Johannesburg. But then I flew from Johannesburg. So let me tell you, don't they have water shortages, or isn't that Johannesburg? So I think that's up in the northeastern part by Johannesburg, up by Botswana as well, because I know in Gaborone, I know that they do regular load shedding in Gaborone, but and also parts of South Africa, but in Cape Town, didn't see any of it. Like, no water shortages, didn't see any water shortages, didn't see any load shedding, never lost electricity once. But of course, the apartment I stay in has backup, so I wouldn't necessarily know it, but didn't see any load shedding. So that's where District 9 was filmed, right? Yes, I believe District 9 was filmed in Cape Town, or it takes place in Cape Town, or maybe both. Let's see. District 9, was it filmed in Cape Town? And District 9 was a good movie. Let's go down to production. Filming was shot on location in Chilawo, Soweto. Soweto, I think, is part of South Africa, isn't it? Because I know Soweto means like luck or something, but I'll talk about how I know that in a minute. Soweto. Oh, it's in Johannesburg. Okay. But so anyway, so I was in Johannesburg, and then I flew. So before I had to go, I stopped here in Walvis Bay. The plane literally stops in Walvis Bay. Now I didn't get off the plane, but I got to tell you, flying into this part of Namibia was amazing. And it was like, so we had to stop because it was a little plane that we were on, because we were ultimately going to the middle of the ocean, but it was a little plane. So it had to stop and refill because it was heading against the wind, and it was also making a long trip. So we stopped in Walvis Bay to refill, and they opened up the door, and I just looked outside, and it looked like Tatooine, which makes sense because parts of Star Wars were filmed in Namibia. But Walvis Bay so I need to go to Walvis Bay. I want to go to Walvis Bay. But where I ended up going on that was to St. Helena. St. Helena is interesting, but it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. It is beautiful. So this was around the 4th of July. People in St. Helena are either super, super friendly, or they're dicks. One or the other, right? There's no in between. They're either complete assholes or they're really friendly. And I met a couple of really friendly people in St. Helena, and I really wanted to stay longer. The only problem is that the internet that I had at the place where I was staying was not that great, and I was working. So it was difficult to like do conference calls because the internet was bad. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it was not great. But St. Helena, the people. I had a rental car, and I ended up driving all around the island as much as I could. And I met this one guy. So like, you go down here, because I was staying right down here in Jamestown, and then I walked down here one night to see to film the sunrise for my travel channel. Addy Goes Places. Check it out. New videos every other week. But so I went down to the waterfront, and I met this guy. He ended up being a kid. Like, he was 19. I didn't realize how young. He was like 19, 20, somewhere around there. And so he just said that he saw my camera, and we just ended up talking. And then he invites me to go to this bar. with a couple of his buddies. So I go to the bar with a couple of his buddies. And so now there's like four of us. And like, I am not a social person. Like, I'm just not, I don't make friends very easily. But like, these people are just like, oh, hey, you're from the States. And like, one guy was like British and he's like making fun of me. It's like, cause this was literally like July 2nd or something. It was a couple days before the 4th of July. And he's like, oh yeah, we got Trader's Day coming up, which of course he was saying, that's what he was calling July 4th, the Trader's Day, and blah blah blah, all in good fun. But then he's like, oh hey, let me call Dave. He's also an American, and let him come out and get a drink. And so Dave was like, I gotta work. Dave didn't come out, but I literally hear him on the speakerphone being like, well, just tell him I'll probably run into him downtown. Literally the next day, I'm walking downtown and he's like, hey, are you Addie? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, hey, I'm Dave. And like, we just struck up a conversation because I'm American, he's American. And I ask him like, how are there other Americans on the island? And he tells me there's like one other. He's like, yeah, it's probably just, he was like, it's literally probably just the three of us because it was such a small community. Like everything was such a small community. Let me check up on these. Okay. Let's see. I know another streamer that didn't have water in South Africa. I haven't heard about South Africa having water shortages. I have heard about Zimbabwe. When I went to Zimbabwe last year, the house I stayed at had like water reserves. It had like a huge rain barrel outside, so you weren't dependent on the city water for that. You weren't dependent on the city water because all politicians are corrupt. Yes, corruption is a big problem in South Africa. It's such a shame too because South Africa is so beautiful. And it has so much potential, but it just feels like it just feels like every time a politician gets elected, they just want to like rob the coffers, take what they can and get out. Like, I don't know, but what do I know? What do I know? I'm just a foreigner. I am not going to get involved in foreign. I do not like when foreigners try to criticize or criticize American politics. So I am not going to criticize the politics of as a foreigner to South Africa. I will just be like, okay, I hope that's I wish South Africa nothing but the best. Not sure says, can you make your browser bigger? Maybe that was before, but I'll make it bigger. I can't see anything. I feel like there are really nice parts of Africa and really, really bad parts of Africa. Yeah. I'll get to that. Isn't that where Napoleon was imprisoned? Yes, Napoleon was in fact imprisoned in St. Helena. Beautiful place. Beautiful place. But so I ended up meeting the American Dave. And this was literally like July 1st or July 2nd. And he's like, hey, I'm having a 4th of July celebration at the Mantis, which is this place down here. All right, immature. All right. Okay. So not sure is complaining about the SKU or the browser or something. So I'm trying to figure out. Okay, you know what? We're gonna go with this for now. We're gonna stick with this one. Oh my God! Wait, no, that one's not gonna work. Now the camera is all too big. Wait a minute. Wait. There we go. Okay, perfect. All right. And then what I'll do is I'll move, let me see. Move myself up here. Can I skew myself? Let me see. Perfect. Okay. That's how I like it, right? Like that. Okay. Excellent. Okay. So he's like, hey, 4th of July is on Friday. We're having a little celebration at the Mantis, which is right around, it's one of these buildings here. I don't know why it's not just popping up. Post office. Oh, it's like right here. Okay, there's the Orange Oriental restaurant. It was literally next door. I don't know why it's not showing up. But he's like, we're having a celebration at the Mantis. Why don't you come by? And I'm like, okay. So I go by, and it's the whole hotel is just decked out with like even outside, you got American flags everywhere. Okay, that's the courtyard. So it was over here on the left. How old is this picture? This is from 2017. It's literally like this building. That's probably what they're. No, 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 no. Oh, is it up here? I think it's that right there. That one. But anyway, but he's like, but the whole place has American flags, and they've got like, it's good, proud to be an American. Well, at least I know I'm for like they got the whole shebang, like American songs and everything, and like there was free food, free. I mean, well, I don't know if it was free drink. No, there was like one free drink, but it was just so nice. Like I literally had just met this guy like a day before. Maybe 2 days before, and he's like inviting me to this wonderful, like this celebration of America. And I met the other American on the island, who was like this really, he was like this, he was such a like, America bandana, like short but tough guy that like, he had to have been in the military, probably fought in Nam or something. Just like, no, it was just a bunch of characters, but the community was so tightly knit together. Like everybody knew everybody. Everybody knew everybody. And but there was people that are dicks. There are people that were assholes and I think part of it was like if you're an outsider, like they like they're like, oh, okay, you're a tourist. Like they like the tourists, but they don't like the tourists. They don't like the people that come to the island. Now look, there it is right there. There, it says Mantis. But the Mantis isn't on that side of the road. That is not the Mantis. The Mantis is not on that side of the road. That is not the Mantis. Google Maps, you're wrong. You're wrong. It's that building right up there. I can tell by the stairs. But the people, they're assholes. I want to show you something. So one thing I like to do when I travel is I like to get tattooed, right? When I go to a new place, I like to get tattooed. Now you got to understand, St. Helena, like you look up St. Helena tattoo artist, nothing. Like there's nothing. St. Helena, California. Like, I mean, like I welcome you to try and find a tattoo artist in St. Helena, the island of St. Helena. You can't do it. So on the plane, on the way to St. Helena, I met a guy who lived there. And then that guy saw another guy behind us that was sitting behind us who lived there because they knew each other. They weren't friends, but they just knew each other because they both lived in St. Helena. So I asked both of them, I was like, hey, do you know anybody on the island that can do tattoos? And they were both like, yes. Like, and they both, I forget the woman's name already, but they're like, yes, you got to go on Facebook and find so-and-so. So I went on Facebook to find so-and-so. I think it was Sophie. Okay, here it is. Sophie Crowe. Here, wait, let me do this over here. So I go on Facebook and I find Sophie Crowe and I message her. But the problem is I'm not friends with her. So I send her a friend request, but I don't know if she's going to accept it. She doesn't know I'm just some like tourist guy that's like in town, whatever. And, so I message her here on Instagram. Right. And this was like Sunday, Monday. She finally responds on like Tuesday. She's like, yeah, I can tattoo you this Friday. It was either Thursday or Friday. I don't remember what. I'm like, okay, great. Cool. Thank you. And like we set it all up. She asks me what I want. I tell her what I want. Like I want it like maybe like a passport stamp for St. Helena. Oh, I forgot talking about the passport situation, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So, and so I'm like, tell her what I want. And we were like, okay, cool. Thursday morning. Not sure. Says, is it all French people or African people on St. Helena? It was weird. So it's all like white people mostly, but then there is this population that if you try to assign them a particular race, the closest I could come up with is Samoan. Like they have like, they kind of have like the brown skin of somebody from India or maybe somebody from Pakistan, but they have like the facial features of like a white person. Like, I don't know how to, but it was like, it's just, and there were a lot of these people there, a lot of them. And it really just reminded me of Samoan. Like it reminded me of like what the Samoan people look like. Yeah, like this is what, like, let's see, Samoan. Like, this is what they looked like. This is literally what I mean. Like, like, why is there a Samoan population? Samoa being a small island in the middle of the Pacific. Why is there a Samoan population in a small island in the middle of the Atlantic? It didn't make any sense, but whatever. So anyway, back to Sophie Crowe. So I get this all planned out. Literally, the morning of the tattoo, she sends me a message saying something like she's sick. Or no, her kid was sick. Her kid, sorry, I can't do it today. My kid had to stay home from school sick. Sorry. Great. So there was another guy that people had also mentioned, a guy named Shaggy, who could do the tattoo, who was a tattoo artist on the island. So I scrambled to try and get in touch with him. Didn't work out. Long story short, I ended up not getting a tattoo while I was in St. Helena. And I was devastated. I wasn't devastated, but I was like, it sucked. Because I'd been getting, like, this arm is covered in tattoos, right? From my travels. Like, this, like, I'm proud of this. Like, I do a lot of traveling, and I've gotten a lot of tattoos while I travel. So then, about 2 or 3 weeks after that happened, this is what Miss Sophie Crowe writes on her Instagram. So it has come to my attention that, nah, this ain't one of those posts. However, there have been a few people, mostly tourists, that have been wanting tattoos from me, as I know it's a trend nowadays to get tattoos from each destination they visit. However, they have been leaving their booking till the day before they leave, and I have unfortunately had to turn people down. If you know of people who are on the island, what blah, 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 blah. All right. I got pissed off. Like that was, first of all, have you heard about this trend? Because I mean, I've been doing it, but is it a trend? Is this what people are doing? Is it like, I consider myself like, you know, like I know a little something about tattoos. I know people that get tattooed. I've never heard of it. Maybe it is a trend. I know it's a trend nowadays to get tattoos from each destination they visit. So I responded. I said, you're not exactly easy to find. Searching Google gives no results, and I only found your name when I asked some saints. That's what they call people from St. Helena. They call them saints. When I asked some saints on the plane on the way to St. Helena. Also, you canceled on me the morning we had agreed upon. So this is hardly the trendy tourists' fault, is what I wrote. No response. But this kind of dickish West Coast passive aggressiveness is the kind of thing that this I saw from a couple of the saints. This was something that I saw from multiple saints. This kind of like, this is very Californian, right? People from California are fake. So the best analogy I heard, like the difference between West Coast U.S. people and East Coast U.S. people, and I probably said this before, but like if you get let's say you get a flat tire and you don't know how to change a tire, which if that's the case, learn how to change a tire. You should know how to change a tire. But let's say you don't know, say you don't know how to change a tire, and you're stuck on the side of the road. A West Coast person, a person from California might pull over and be like, "Oh, hey, is everything okay?" Like, yeah, no, I can't figure out how to change a tire. Oh, wow, man, that sucks. Yeah, like, well, just be safe, and I'm sure you'll figure it out. But like, yeah, I hope everything's okay. All right, gotta go. Bye. That's a West Coast person. An East Coast person will pull over and be like, "What's wrong, man? You don't know how to change a tire?" Yeah, no, sorry, I don't. The East Coast person, like, "What are you, are you a moron?" And then they'll proceed to change the tire for you. They will change the tire while chastising you the entire time for not knowing how to change a tire. "Oh, you stupid idiot. All you got to do is just do this." And I'll come on. Yes, dude, let me show you how to do this. That's an East Coast person. So give me the East Coast person any day, because West Coast people are just fake. they're fake. I don't like them. They're pretentious and they're fake. And that's what you got a lot of on this stupid island, St. Helena, of these like snobby, like look at this passive aggressive shit. Like, as I know it's the trend nowadays. However, they're leaving the booking till the day before they leave. Like, you canceled on me, you bitch. You canceled on me. Oh my God, that pissed me off. She canceled on me. And it was like, and like I told her, it's like, you're not exactly easy to find. If you don't know Sophie Crowe's name, I invite you to find somebody that does tattoos on St. Helena. Do it. Try it. You won't. Oh. But this is the kind of shit you had to deal with from a couple of people, like I had to deal with from a couple of people on that island. I love that island. And I would go back there in a heartbeat. And like, I'm considering going back and staying for like 3 months. Like, I loved it there. It's so peaceful. It is so peaceful. I still can't get over how peaceful it was. It was just, that's the only way to put it. It was just so peaceful. Like, you felt at peace unless you had to deal with bitches like this. Like, oh my God. Let's see. Not Sure says, they're on island time. West Coast are nice to your face, but fake. So true. Absolutely. East Coast will be dicks to your face, but help you. Yeah, it's true. That's how they are. Not Sure says, I don't know. Take everything with a grain of salt. No. And then, again, humble brag. I'm humble bragging a little bit. I'll admit it. But I've traveled a lot. I have never been so scrutinized getting through passport control than I was when I got to St. Helena. I have a feeling this is kind of a British thing because St. Helena is a British protectorate or territory. I wish Matthew was here. Lisa says, "Oh my God, hi. Oh my God, hi, Lisa." So I wish Matthew was here, but St. Helena is a protectorate of the UK. And so I'm wondering if this is like how it is like if you go to England or go somewhere, because it's just like you read the requirements to go to these different countries. Excuse me. And they all say similar things like, yeah, you need to be able to prove, you know, show your outboarding ticket. You got to be able to prove you have health insurance, be able to prove they all say this, but none of them ask. Of course, they rarely ask it. If I think probably the reason, and this is probably something I take for granted, but as an American tourist, I think a lot of countries just assume you have money and you're not going to stay, right? But oh my God, in St. Helena, they wanted every little, like, oh well, do you have the proof of insurance? Do you have this? Do you have that? It was crazy. And then the best part, you had to pay £20 to get into the country, which is fine, which is stupid, but it's fine. You had to pay £20, and no, they don't take credit card. Oh, you don't have £20. Oh, okay. Well, then I guess you can't get in the country. St. Helena was like this mix of just people I wanted to punch and then people I wanted to marry. It was just like this combination of the two, like just one or the other. Like oh my God. And it honestly kind of made me realize that like I'm making the best choice by probably never ever going to England. Like I'll go to Scotland, but I have no desire to go to England. And these dicks are part of the reason. And Matt, speaking of English dicks, Matthew is in the house. Did someone say my name? Yes, sir, we did. St. Helena is not an independent country. It is a British overseas territory. Oh, Lisa asks if it was. I skipped that. British overseas territory. It is governed by the UK. It has a local. And actually, they even have their own currency. So there are British pounds. They'll accept British pounds. And so there's British pounds, and then there is the St. Helena pounds, which is, but you can only use St. Helena pounds in St. Helena, which I thought was funny. Not Sure says hi to Matthew, and Matthew says hi to Not Sure, and then Not Sure says the gang is back. Yes, sir, the gang is back. The gang is back. We are back together, better than ever. But St. Helena, I'm considering going back to St. Helena because I would like to go and stay, because a week literally it was not enough. It was such a beautiful little place. It was such a wonderful place. Other than some people, but the fact of just how freaking peaceful it was. It was just so peaceful. That's the only way to put it. It was just so peaceful. And I want to go back. Like, I drove all over. Like, I mean, I had a rental car, which I damaged. I ended up paying like $200 for the damages, but whatever. Because not only was I driving on the other side of the road, right? So I'm driving on the English side of the road, which I don't know why they drive on that crazy side of the road, but that's how they do it in England. So I was driving on that side of the road. Not only was I doing that, but I was driving a stick. Now, I know how to drive a stick with my right hand. This was my first time ever driving a stick with my left hand. Didn't like it. But St. Helena, I mean, I had mixed experience in St. Helena, but the thing is I would move there. Like, I would move there and just go to the grocery store and just, get my food and not interact. Maybe with the Americans, because the Americans would get me. But the American guy, Dave, like he was like super friendly. Everybody was really friendly. It was such a cool little island. And I want to go back and I want to get tattooed. And I'm not going to get tattooed by that bitch Sophie Crowe. No, I'm going to get tattooed by the other guy. The other guy, it just didn't work out, right? Because literally, I was leaving on Saturday. I was supposed to get tattooed on Thursday. Thursday morning, she cancels on me. And so, like, I'm scrambling to try and get tattooed. And so, this bitch leaving their bookings till the day before. Like, what the fuck? Like, what is wrong? Oh, what a bitch. You know what? Oh, God. I can't say it enough. Not sure it says I had a really bad experience with people in England. Yeah, I get it. Fuckers wouldn't drive me to my hotel from the airport because it was too close. I get that. You should check out where I stayed. Fort de Mommy. Fort what is it? Wait. Fort de Mommy, Italy. That's right. You were gone for 2 weeks also, not sure. You were in Italy. Look at that place looks weird. There's just like these really big beaches. What is going on here? Let's open this up. What is this? Wow. Why can I not on my, I don't know what it is. It's some difference between Mac and Windows, but on my Mac, I can tilt Google Maps. I can tilt. Can't do it on here. No, God forbid I'm able to do that on Windows. This looks very Italian. What part of Italy is it in? Oh, it's in the north. Okay. Nice. I hope you had lots of pasta. Lots and lots of pasta. What was I talking about? Oh, so St. Helena, left St. Helena and went back to Johannesburg for a night before going to one of the more, how should I put this? One of the more, where I went to another country, where I went to Zambia, and I was in Lusaka. I was in Lusaka for a week. I get to Lusaka. Now, when I travel and when I book these places, I will book a 1-bedroom. Because especially if I'm working, because I like to separate things. I like to separate where I sleep, where I work. I like that. I like that separation. So I'll work in the living room and I'll sleep in the bedroom because that's what they're made for, right? So I like that separation. So I landed in Zambia. I get a taxi. Actually, was somebody picking me up? I think so. No, I had a guy pick me up. That's right. I had a guy pick me up. Edwin was his name. That's right. Edwin. Shout out to you, Edwin. Edwin picks me up. He has the little sign that has my name on it, standing at the airport. So I get in. He drives me to this apartment hotel. It was like kind of like an apartment complex. And I'm like, because I had to get up early for the flight, and then I was in I was in the airport in Johannesburg, and I don't know if you've ever been to the airport in Johannesburg, but it's really, really busy, and it's just a pain in the butt, and it's just like, oh God. So all I want to do is get into my apartment in Lusaka, take my clothes off, take a shower, and put some other clothes on. That's like all I wanted to do. That's all I wanted to do. I didn't even want to go out and explore the city. However, as we're driving, I'm like, I thought I was going to be closer to like a downtown area. But I'm really not. No, sir, I am not. So we stop at the apartment, and Edwin, he pulls my bags out of the car, and we go up, and I walk in. I see the door's already open, and I see the woman, who I presume is the owner, standing inside. And I walk in, and what do I walk into? I walk into a hotel room. It was a studio apartment, the bed, the television, the kitchen, bathroom. And I'm like, this isn't what I booked. And the woman's like, oh yes, I'm so sorry. I was hoping that you would understand, because the apartment you booked, the woman who was staying there, her daughter's sick, and of course we would offer you a discount because this one's much cheaper. And I'm like, no, I booked a 1-bedroom because I want a 1-bedroom. I booked a 1-bedroom because I want a 1-bedroom. So I'm like, I'm immediately like, oh, what the fuck? I'm in fucking Zambia. And now I'm like, well, I'm in this crappy little hotel room, and no, couldn't do it. Wasn't going to do it. So I immediately go on Airbnb's website. I'm looking like, okay, let me find something. I find another place, and I'm like, oh, this is a house. Check. It's got everything I need with the Wi-Fi and the thing and the other thing. It's got everything. Excellent. Book. Edwin, can you take me to this other place? Yes, sir. So he takes me to the other place. Literally, I was in the first place for like a half hour at most, right? Because I was like, I'm not staying here. Like I try to get places with a view, right? Like I like to have, I'm spoiled. Okay, look, I'm a princess when I travel. Okay, don't pretend you're better than me. Don't pretend you're better than me. I'm a princess when I travel. So I like a view. This little hotel room, it was on the bottom floor, which I hate. Never stay on a bottom floor in a foreign country unless you know the country. Never stay on a bottom floor. Those will get robbed. The higher the floor, the safer it is. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it. So anyway, so we go to this other house. It's in this housing complex. I don't know if I can find it. It was near let's see, this is the downtown area. It was like somewhere over here. But anyway, it was in this housing complex. It was obviously like a planned community, right? Because it had a bunch of townhouses. It was a townhouse I was staying in, which is fine. Staying in a townhouse. But it was a very lots and lots of townhouses. And I would say maybe 15 to 20% of the townhouses actually had people living in them. So it was like this massive ghost town. Literally. Like it's just like house after house after house that's empty. Like, and some of them you can see inside. Some of them had boards on the windows. Some of them you could just tell by looking at them that nobody lives in that house. Like it is just house after house after house. And also it was in the middle of nowhere. I had messaged the owner being like, hey, is this walkable to a grocery store? And here's the thing, like they always say yes. Like, yes. Yeah, you might walk 10 miles to the grocery store, but yeah, it's walkable. And that was the case here. So I spent one night in that house because I'm like, I can't stay here. I don't have a car. I had a car in St. Helena. But the thing is like, I trust the police in St. Helena to not like extort me, right? Like, I trust them to not pull me over and then expect like some cash in order to not go to jail for 3 weeks. Or in Zambia, Oh, who knows? I don't know. I mean, if you're Zambian, I'm sorry, I don't want to offend. But I'm not. I wasn't going to drive in Zambia. That's the point. Like I wasn't going to drive. So my wife, I'm like talking to my wife that night, and I'm like, oh my god, I was like on the verge of crying. Like I don't know where I am. And she finds this beautiful hotel. What was it called? Let me find the name of that hotel. It was this beautiful hotel, like right near downtown Lusaka. I gotta find it on my other map, which is on my naughty boy screen. So I'm gonna do that off screen. Where is it? Okay. Yeah, it was right across the street from Manda Hill. Manda Hill Shopping Market, Lusaka. Yeah. So right here, the Sarvor, which was a beautiful hotel. It had 1-bedroom suites, which I ended up, it was a little expensive, but it was like on the 15th floor. It was like it was on the penultimate floor of the hotel. So it was this beautiful view of Lusaka. And it was nice. I mean, it was nice. Lusaka itself was interesting because so when I went to Zimbabwe, like Zimbabwe, it was like Zimbabwe was like covered in poverty. And I don't mean this like critically. I'm just speaking honestly. It was imagine like a spread of poverty, evenly spread. That's what Zimbabwe was. There was just evenly spread poverty, where Zambia had pockets of poverty, pockets of money, pockets of poverty, pockets of money. And that's the thing. It was like this shopping mall, Manda Hill Shopping Mall. Now, if you know anything about third world countries and their shopping malls, if you know, you know, right? But this was like a really nice mall. Like this was like a mall that you would see in any American city when American cities still had malls, right? It was a really nice mall. But then literally you walk down this street towards the city and all of this is just stricken poverty. Just outright like poverty. But then you get down to the city and all of a sudden it's gorgeous. And you're like, wow, this little block could be in Paris. And then you go closer to Soweto Market and it's poverty, just poverty. Here's Soweto Market, by the way, which I had to walk through the bus station all the way. Oh my God, that was an experience. And so I learned the word Mzungu, because I heard it everywhere. I heard Mzungu. Mzungu means white man. And there weren't a lot of those, and I didn't see a lot of those in Zambia. I saw a lot of them at the mall that I was just at, but I did not see them when I went to Soweto Market. And I kept hearing Mzungu. So Zambia was just interesting, and I did have a scary experience. So I was on I think it might have been Church Street. There's a bus station. Is it this one? I think it is this one. Yeah, because I walk up and it was on the left. But I don't know if this is it or not. Let me see. Oh, wait, there's no street maps. I don't know if that's it, but I might have been in a different bus station, but I go to this one. So I'm doing my internet thing, right? I'm doing my like, I have a very small GoPro. And I'm doing my normal, like, walking around with my GoPro, just kind of like filming, talking. And normally, like, when I'm in places where I'm not very comfortable, I will keep the camera down low. Or I'll keep it, like, very not, like, you know, like, I call it, like, when I'm doing my narration or, like, doing my speaking, I call it spy mode, you know. But I had this guy. I went into this bus station. And I'm walking around the bus station. And this guy he was following me and yelling at me. And I'm like, what? And he's just like, he's not, I don't know if he was speaking English or what he was speaking, or if he was, but he's just like yelling at me. And I'm like, and of course I'm getting nervous because I'm the only one that looks like me anywhere around. And like, he's yelling at me and I'm like, what did I do? Am I in the wrong place? And it was pretty scary. And I just left the bus terminal. And then like, as I left the bus station, I saw he was like like whatever he was saying, like get out of here. So I'm wondering if maybe there was like some like shenanigans going on at the bus station, and he saw me with a camera, and maybe the bus station or the bus terminal, maybe it's known for like some shenanigans. I don't know. But Zambia was it reminded me a lot of Zimbabwe, except there seemed to be more money in Zambia. But Zambia is also very stable. It's a very stable country. It's one of the more, it's almost as stable as Botswana. And then I met this guy, cab driver. Let me take this off screen, see if I can find it. But I met this cab driver. Oh, Jesus, what did I do? I just screwed up all the alignment. But this cab driver, so he like, because when I get in the cabs, I'm like talking to people, and I'm recording, and I will always ask them. I'll ask them ahead of time. I'll be like, "Is this okay that I'm recording video?" And then this guy is like, "Yeah, it's no problem." He's asking me like, well, what are you doing video for? And I'm like, "Oh, I do YouTube." And then, okay, yeah, I'm not going to show this, but his name was Kelvin Zulu. And so he's like, "Yeah, I'll friend you on Instagram, and I'll send you a message." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." This guy has messaged me just about every day. I have not responded. I mean, I've responded a couple times here and there, but just about every day he will message me. And it's often like the last message I got from him was like, "You have inspired me to see the world." And then there's a lot of like Jesus stuff too. Like a lot of stuff about how, Jesus loves me and like my brother in Christ and stuff like that. Like it's a little weird. It's a little weird. And it's almost like this like 50-year-old African guy's in love with me. I don't quite get it. It's not my type, but it is what it is. Let me catch up on some of these messages. The gang is back together. I had a really bad okay, we read all of that. Tuscany. I have no idea who to trust. Okay, so Matthew says, I have no idea who to trust in this country right now. I keep to myself. Yeah, Matthew, I've thought about you quite a lot over the past couple of weeks, Matthew. Not like that. Not like Zulu. Not like Kelvin Zulu thinks of me. No, not like that. No, just because like you get stuck in your own echo chamber, right? Like we all do. And I've been trying to get out of my echo chamber, but it's difficult. But at least I try to keep in mind that I am in an echo chamber. So that's why like I won't really discuss politics with people. I won't really debate politics with people because I know I'm in an echo chamber. And the opinions that I think I have, I don't know how valid they are because I know that I'm only seeing certain perspectives. And so I've been seeing certain perspectives about things happening in England. And so I've been thinking about Matthew, and I've been like, yeah, no, I can't wait to stream again. I want to see if Matthew, what he thinks is going on. But then I'm like, no, I'm not going to ask him that. It's not my business. It's not my country. Let's see. Not sure it says Tuscany. Lisa says lots and lots of pasta. Oh, man, yeah. For the first time when I was in Bolivia a couple of weeks ago, I made my it was so simple. I didn't realize how simple it was to make just goddamn bolognese or whatever it is, just tomato sauce. Literally just took some cherry tomatoes and steamed them up with some tomato paste and like some garlic and some onions, and it was freaking delicious. And then I made some ramen noodles and I just poured it over the ramen noodles. It was amazing. It was so good. But then again, I'm an excellent cook. So Matthew says, did you have gelato? And then not sure. So much gelato. The food in Italy is so good. Everything else tastes like garbage. I bet the food in Italy is good. I discovered a new food called lardo. Is that just lard? Pig fat preserved in marble. Yes, it's just lard. So delicious. Sounds disgusting. Okay. Not sure says to Matthew, do you ever go into London? I found really cool fish and chips place. Matthew talking, I don't know if I'm going to read all of this. Oh, this okay. Not sure says Africa has so many minerals. You need to buy his crypto. Jesus, crypto. Kelvin's crypto. I gotta tell you. So after Zambia, I was supposed to go to Libya. I mean, not Libya. I was supposed to go to Bolivia. I was supposed to go back to Cape Town, I think, for one night. No, I was supposed to go back to Johannesburg for one night and then catch a flight from Johannesburg to Sao Paulo in Brazil. That was July 12th. It was like July 12th, July 13th, sometime around there. I ended up staying in Cape Town for an additional month. I spent a lot of money. I kind of went all out. I kind of like was like, you know what? So like speaking of crypto, like I have crypto. Like I have a fair amount of crypto. Now I'm not like I don't have a retire, quit my job and retire amount of crypto, but I have a fair amount of crypto. And I literally never cashed any of it in. Like I've sold little tiny bits here and there, but it's been like years since I've sold any. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get that condo that I really love in Cape Town. That's right next to the ocean. And even though it is an obscene amount of money to spend, I'm going to cash in some of my crypto and spend it. So I did. So I ended up staying in that beautiful apartment. I'll show it to you because I'm humble bragging. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm just outright admitting it. Oh, wait, I got to find the link. Oh, I'm not signed in. But I ended up staying there for a month. I ended up there, I was supposed to be in Bolivia for like a month. And I was like, no, I'm going to stay in Cape Town. I'm just going to stay in Cape Town for a month. And I did. And you know what? I wanted to stay longer. I did. I really, really like Cape Town. Let me find the place. I guess I can pull this over here. Where is it? Here it is. Where do we go? Your place. Is this it? Yes. This apartment. Now it's expensive. It's really expensive, but I decided to splurge because there's the ocean, right? And literally, and I was thinking about this the other night, like all these windows open up. It's so beautiful. But I was thinking about this the other night. Like, I think one of the reasons I slept so well in this apartment is because even when the doors were closed, you could still hear the waves. You could hear like the sound of the waves was just this persistent cacophony of wave sounds. And I just wanted to use the word cacophony there. That's why I said it. But it was just it was so beautiful. And like, I didn't want to leave. And like, trust me, I've thought about selling everything and just living there. It would cost me a lot of money, but oh my God, it's such a beautiful apartment. And then Cape Town itself is just such a Cape Town's an awesome town. You got to be careful. You got to be careful where you go. You got to be careful of like, you know, you got to have some common sense. But oh my God, I went paragliding. So I did do a couple of more touristy things. My wife came to Cape Town for a week, which was really nice. It was good to see her. But oh God, this apartment though, it was just like, I want to go back. I left Cape Town, and all I have thought about since I left Cape Town was going back to Cape Town. Like that's it. That's all I've thought about. Like I just want to go back to Cape Town. But next trip is I'm not leaving you guys. I'm not leaving you guys until November. Won't be leaving you guys until November. And I think that's going to be probably about a month-long trip. I'm going to spend Thanksgiving in Iceland with my daughter. Like it's going to be like my wife, my daughter, my daughter's spouse, and my mother. We're all going to go to Iceland, and then we're going to have a Thanksgiving dinner in Iceland, which should be fun. I've been looking at places, haven't booked anything yet, but I'm here until November, guys. You got me until November. We've got until November to finish the game. You think we can do it? No. Matthew says, looks and sounds amazing. Cape Town's awesome, dude. You got to go to Cape Town. Like, literally, go to Cape Town. I mean, it used to be, people would used to be like, you know, where would you go? And I used to say the Faroe Islands. I still say Faroe Islands. Faroe Islands are beautiful. Faroe Islands are gorgeous. But Cape Town has a lot more to offer just because it's a big city. It's a big metropolitan city. And honestly, it doesn't feel like, and people have said this before, that like Cape Town is in Africa, but just because you go to Cape Town doesn't mean you've been to Africa. Because literally going to Cape Town is like, it's like going to like any European city. It's a very modern, metropolitan, chic kind of city. Like, I mean, it's on par, like in terms of like chicness, it's like on par with like Paris. I mean, it's ridiculous. But then you go to like Gaborone or Harare, Zimbabwe, or Lusaka, and you're like, yeah, no, like Cape Town's not Africa. Even Johannesburg is like not really Africa. Maybe it's just how all of South Africa is. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, that was the past 2 months, and then of course I was in Bolivia for the election. I know you guys have been following Bolivian politics very closely because I mean, who hasn't? But yeah, so I was there for the election, and then the election was kind of like very, very, very nondescript. Not a lot really happened in the election. Like, I mean, you didn't have a winner, so that was big news, right? Because in Bolivia politics, you have to get 50% of the vote in order to win. And if no candidate gets at least 50% of the vote, then you have a runoff election with the top two candidates. So there were literally like 8 candidates on the ballot. There were like a ton of candidates on the ballot. And but I think the highest one was this guy named Rodrigo Paz, who got like 42, 43, 44% of the vote. So there's going to be a runoff between Paz and I think the second guy was a guy who they call Tuto. But that's in October, so I'll be going back to Bolivia in October. But, you know, that should only be for like a week or two. You guys won't even notice. You won't even notice. But yeah, no, that was it. That was so that was the last 2 months. Any questions? I'll wait. No. Okay. That's good. So, what do we want to do? Like honestly, I am literally scared to load up this game. I was thinking about this earlier. I was like, you know, I should load up the game now and just kind of just to see. And I was like, no, I'm not going to, because I want to do it live. I want the reaction to be genuine. I think the last time, so this says 2 months ago here, the last time I opened it, but that was on this computer. I think the last time I actually, so I did do one stream in South Africa, I believe. And then I don't know if I opened the game up. I might have opened the game up a couple of times just to fool around with the map, right? Just to like play with the map, but I didn't do any actual programming. Now I did sync this, didn't I? Okay, already up to date. Am I on a branch? I might be on a branch. Matthew says, who the fuck wrote this code? Yeah. Okay, so this was on Terrain 5. So I think this was the stages I was talking about. I remember when I left off, there was a big thing. I was struggling a lot with how to handle items and inventory. And I think I was just overcomplicating it because I wanted like some whole system of where like each item could have its own menu of options. And I'm like, why? Just no, but I have a better, I think what I'm going to do is like each item will have like a primary and secondary action. Wait, I did think of this. Each item will have a primary and secondary action where the primary action for some things will take you into another interface. So think about like a knife where the primary interaction is stab, or a gun where the primary interaction is shoot. But think about a cell phone where the primary action would be to look at the cell phone and then you can interact with it. I think that's the way to do it. I think I was over engineering things is probably what I was doing. I was overcomplicating it. Not sure it says what game. What's this Unity? I don't even, my computer doesn't remember either. Look how long it's taken. Oh, wait a minute. Are you back, boy? Come here. You want to come on my lap? No? Okay. So like I mentioned early in the stream, I got home yesterday, but my wife is not here. My wife is in China. She is in China until... Honey, if you're listening, how long are you in China till? I sent her the link earlier and she said, okay. No, but I think she's in China until like, she gets home on like the 13th, I think. And apparently she got stuck in China for a couple more days. She was supposed to be, because she's from Thailand, and she was supposed to go to Thailand after China and then spend like a week or 2 weeks in Thailand. But I think she's been stuck in China for a couple of days. All those terrain tools made the dev environment massive. Did it? Oh. Game's gone. Matthew says game's gone. Wife's gone. I remember. Okay, I vaguely remember this. So all the city and stuff. Okay, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to build like, oh, I'm remembering this. I did this in St. Helena. That's how long. Okay, I was in St. Helena the week before July 4th, or the week of July 4th. And that was the last time I opened the game, was in St. Helena. So this was July 4th. So it's been almost 2 months since I've opened the game. A little less than 2 months. Okay. All right. I remember, though, because what I wanted to... Don't ask me why. Okay? Don't ask why. I want it to be like a volcanic island. That's all I want. So what I had to do in order to make it a volcanic island is I didn't... All the buildings and stuff and all the paths I had built, I didn't want to lose them. So what I did is I just selected all of them, and then I dragged them over to, well, first I made this little plot of land, then I selected everything, dragged it over to this little plot of land, and then I destroyed everything, and then I built this, and then I dragged it back. Yes, I believe that's what I was doing. But I have no idea, like, what the runtime state of this is. Wait, how do I focus? Okay, wait a minute. Let's see if we can do this. Oh, what's he doing over here? I'm just going to run it, see what happens. I mean, like, I have no idea. Matthew says, yeah, it did. I'm not sure what you're referring to, but yeah, I think it did. Okay, wait a minute. Oh, this is a great game. Okay, I'm not even sure if I'm going in the right direction. I wanted to go to the neighborhood. Okay, I am going in the right direction. I'm just, you know what? Instead of just like quitting the game and dragging, I'm just going to run. I'm just going to keep going. Okay, I think maybe I will just drag the player over there. I can't take this anymore. Okay, let me see. All right, so we got this guy. We're going to put him over here. That's all we want to do. Oh, is he in the terrain? I think he might be in the terrain. Oh, yeah, because God forbid you're able to snap. Oh, God. Okay. Like, God forbid you're able to actually snap to the terrain. All right, let's see. We'll come over here. Come over here. There we go. Okay, is he on the ground? Is he underground? I think he's on. I think he's okay. Oh, I think he's floating a little bit. Or wait. What the hell? Okay. Wait, am I underground? What is going on? Okay, wait a minute. Wait. Okay, I'm just going to play it from here. We'll see if we'll see if he falls and hits the ground or if he just falls through the ground. Okay, so I fell to the ground, so I'm obviously above the ground. Okay, let's see. Okay, got the guards there. Let's see if let's see if they're still responding. Here, wait. Oh, hey, man! It's been a minute. Oh, I got to mark a point. How do I do that? How do I mark a point? Ah, there we go. All right. You know what you got to do, green guy? I'm going to send you to your death, okay? You got to do it for the stream. Do it for the stream. Okay, go. Well, that's not good. Go to. Confirm. Oh. Reset. Okay. I think I need to rebake the mesh. Okay. First, let's do it. Let's figure this out. Okay. Why? How or why can I not, like? It drives me nuts that I can't snap him. Wait. Well, how do I select? No. I don't want to tilt him. Oh wait, I gotta do this. Okay. How can I get him on the ground? It is literally getting something on the ground is literally like the hardest thing in Unity. It's impossible to just. Why can I just not press S and then it just snaps? Like, is he still not on the ground? Wait, how do I just want to move the camera down. Okay. He looks closer to the ground. Okay. Perfect. Okay. There we go. Okay. But God forbid I'm able to actually snap him onto the ground. God, no. Yeah, we can take men to the moon. We have tunnels that dig underground. We have internet all over the world. And we have artificial intelligence. But God forbid we're able to actually place an object on the ground in Unity. Because, well, computing power in 2025, it's just not there. All right, let me see. I wonder if these guys still react to me. Okay, at least that still works. Does death still work? Let's see if death still works. I think it's just the path that doesn't work. But I think that's probably just because I need to rebake the meshes. Okay. Excellent. Addy goes live. Have you used Grok lately? It's insanely good, but slow. I have. And actually, I have been going back and forth between ChatGPT and Grok. Grok is actually... I think Grok's actually gotten really good. I tried using Gemini a couple of weeks ago. It's terrible. Gemini is like the Down syndrome cousin of the other AIs. Like that's like Gemini's terrible. Like Microsoft's Copilot, like that feels like a calculator compared to the other AIs. But ChatGPT and Grok, like, and usually ChatGPT. I wish they would do something with their UI because it's terrible. It is so slow. If you get a conversation going on for any decent amount of time, then ChatGPT, it's like the UI locks up. Like if the back scroll is too big, it locks up. It'll just hang and it'll just sit there forever and ever. Oh my God. And honestly, GPT-5, I don't know that GPT-5 was such an improvement over GPT-4. I don't see it. Grok has really gotten better. Grok has gotten really good, and it's still kind of pissing me off that because like in Visual Studio Code, it still pisses me off that there is no native support for Grok, even though they now have, I believe they have native support for Gemini, of course for Copilot, but like. And it's just all political reasons. That's the only reason that they won't support Grok natively. You can do it with a plugin. I haven't tried, but it's just stupid political reasons. It's the only reason they won't support Grok. Even though Grok, I feel that Grok gives ChatGPT a run for its money. I do. I honestly do. Grok's gotten really good. Grok used to kind of suck, but it's gotten a lot better. Enable lighting in scene view too. Shadows will help. Okay. Scene view. How do I enable lighting? Is it one of these? Is it this? What happened to my gizmos menu? Center. Where's my gizmos? Oh, wait, they're down here. Cameras. Search. View options. View options? Is it under view options? Okay, over here maybe. Dynamic clipping. Always refresh. Skybox. Layers. I don't think that exists. I think Matthew's making things up. I accidentally used Gemini recently and I regretted it. Microsoft and Apple support OpenAI. Damn it! Now I want to fish. Now I want fish and chips, dude. My wife, she's been gone for about a week, and God bless her. God bless. She is a good woman. She is a good wife because I asked her, I said, honey, when you leave for China, can you make sure that there are some Diet Mountain Dews in the fridge? There were 10 in there. And because I didn't want to have to go to the I wanted to come home and just stay home. I didn't want to have to come home and go to the store and all that, whatever. But there's no food in the house, which I am not, I mean, the house was empty for a week. So why would there be any food in the house? Right. So I'm not criticizing her by any means. So I was like, okay, I got to go do some grocery shopping, but I'm lazy. So I had to go pick up my dog this morning. So what did I do? I stopped at McDonald's for breakfast. Okay. All right. In the afternoon, I had to go run an errand. What did I do? I stopped at McDonald's for lunch. and then before the stream, before the stream. No, I did not get McDonald's for dinner. No. I ordered $35 worth of Taco Bamba. $35 worth of tacos. Well, this was all on Uber Eats, so it was probably really like $10 worth of tacos. And I scarfed them all down. Oh, I scarfed them all down. So I like whenever I travel, I lose weight. Just because the food in other countries is so much better, because the food in the United States is awful. I mean, it tastes good, but it is so bad for you because we put so much junk and crap in our food. It's terrible. I'm convinced that I just lose weight just because the food in other countries is just healthier. And because I don't generally change my eating habits when I travel, it's just what I'm actually eating is different. And I feel like all the weight I've lost, I gained back today. Not Sure says McDonald's is so bad. It's just pure shit. No, it is not. McDonald's is delicious. Go to the Pit Stop Barbecue. That's where I went today. I'm not a big fan of barbecue. Best barbecue in the area. Matthew says price compared to quality is so bad too. You guys got to stop hating on McDonald's. I love me some McDonald's. Granted, I won't have it again for like a month now. Tomorrow, I'm going to go grocery shop. I got so much I need to do tomorrow. Today, I was just letting myself just be lazy, right? I was like, you know what? It's my first full day home in 2 months. I'm not going to run any errands. I'm just going to sit on my ass. Took the dog on multiple WALKs. Ran a couple of errands. But tomorrow, I've got to unpack. I've got to cut the lawn. I've got to do some lawn work. I got to do this. I got to do that. Oh. And then this project that guys, boys. I have another project. That I think we're going to work on. All right. Hear me out. Okay. Hear me out. So, my work, we had this office not that far away, and then we were moving out of the office. So they had a lot of stuff to just throw away. A lot of these were, what model did I get? I think they're Dell 630s. Yeah. So I got a couple of these Dell PowerEdge R630 servers. And what I want to do is I want to install Proxmox, and I got a bunch of storage and a bunch of RAM. And this is all just sitting in my garage. So what I want to do is I want to set up a little server farm in my garage with all of these. Let me close this. I want to set up a little server farm. Oh, I'm in my Naughty Boy browser. Let me get out of my Naughty Boy browser. All right, right here. But I want to set up a little server farm in my garage, like with these servers and the little things. And I've got over 160 terabytes of storage. Let me. Oh, where did it go? I think this is it. Ooh. Did I show you? I might have showed you guys this. What is this? Oh shit. Hope I didn't break it. But this. So this is a Apex SSD storage PCI thing card. And then each one of these is an 8 terabyte SSD. And I've got another card. And I've got, I think, 32 of these drives. So I need to buy a housing unit, because the servers I have, there's not enough room in them for this PCI card. So I have to buy a housing unit, and I probably have to do like fiber, probably like NVMe over fiber, something like that. I don't know, but that's the other project we're going to work on. We're going to, and then I got these. I don't even know what to do with these. These are like, these are GPUs. I don't know what to do with them. Train a language model. I got 2 of them. But yeah, so I've got a lot of storage. A lot. 8 terabyte SSD. Yes, I've got one of the drives in this computer. In the computer that I'm using this stream, I've got one. I think it's this one. So we can see it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Technically 7.27 terabytes. All right. So, ow, whoa, damn. So anyway, what I want to do is I'm going to buy a server rack, a little, like probably like a 12-unit server rack. And I'm going to have to put a couple $100 into this project to buy the server rack, to buy like the power thingy and the housing unit, and then the cables to connect the housing unit to the servers. And then I want to set up Proxmox so that I can have various OSs running. And then I was like thinking like, so I talked about the temporal file storage project. I know I talked about that on here before. And like, this is like this hardware is like, it makes me want to work on that project, right? It makes me want to work on, because it's like I could host it. I just need a bit. And then I looked into getting business internet. And business internet is not that much more expensive than what I have now. It would be like an additional $50 a month. And I'm like, maybe. But no, I just think it would be a fun project to do. And I can't even remember how to put something on the goddamn ground in this. Okay. So anyway, tell me what you think about that. I mean, I know Matthew will stop watching at that point because it's not a game program, but no, I mean, I think it would be fun because I got all this hardware just sitting doing nothing, and I want to do something with it. And what grown man doesn't want to have a project in his garage? Like, and that is why men have garages. Is to have projects in the garage. Like, that's literally the only reason you have a garage. Ugh. Ooh, excuse me. Okay, let's get back to the game. Let's get back in focus. What am I doing? I'm just checking. Okay. All right, so. All right, Matthew was telling me I worked in it before this, setting up servers. Yeah, no, I mean. Wait, who was it? You not sure that said, Proxmox is nice. I installed it once. Yeah, I would like, because what I would like to do is I would like to have the little temporal file storage program service that could be part of it. But then I would like to also have like my message board. I would like to host. I wouldn't mind hosting the message board myself, but I'm a little scared of doing that. So I don't know. Not sure. It says you should look up the work done by David Gelimter. He had similar idea for storage. David Gelimter, American computer scientist. This guy. He's an American computer scientist, professor at Yale. Nah, what does he know? He's just a Yale scientist. Books, relative, selected works. Okay, career. Well, what did he do? Parallel computing, specifically tuple space coordination model. No idea what that is. As embodied by the Linda programming system. Okay. Oh, Linda Lovelace. I've heard that name before. She was the one who did. Was she the one that did? Linda Lovelace wasn't the NASA woman, was it? Is she the one? Because there's maybe it is her. Wait. What? No. I'm not going to read this. What? Oh, okay. No. Okay. This is not the woman I thought it was. Okay. It's not the woman I thought it was. No. I was thinking of. What the hell is her name? This one, Margaret Hamilton. That's who I was thinking of. I always thought she looked super cute in this picture. I don't know why. I was always attracted to the woman in this picture, although I'm not sure why. Okay. All right. Let's get back on task. Let's get back on task. Okay, boys. All right. So the thing about my wife not being here. Here's the thing about my wife not being home for the next few weeks is I think I'm going to be streaming quite often, probably like every night. So just throwing that out there. If you're not busy, you know where your old pal Addie's going to be, right here in this chair with my dog. Mulan. He does not like listening to me at all. Okay, how can I get this goddamn thing? Like, literally, why is it so difficult to put him on the ground? Matthew, fix this. All right, here we go. Okay. What happened to my... Okay, there we go. Okay, wait. Yeah, because God forbid this snap. Turn on shadows. Where do I turn on shadows? Turn on shadows. Well, first Matthew tells me to turn on lighting, and then Not Sure tells me to turn on shadows. I don't know where either of these things are. It's been a while. It's been a while. All right, let's see what this is. Okay. I'm still falling. What the hell? Turn. Oh, well, okay. Okay. All right. Calm down, Eddie. Calm down. They're just trying to help. How do I turn on shadows in the scene view in Unity? The gray circle you clicked. This one? I don't see any shadows. Draw modes. Okay, wait a minute. Shadow draw. Ah, ooh. Ooh. Okay. All right. How do I get... Okay, here we go. Wow. Okay. Wow. All right. Oh, I bet I know what the problem is with falling. He's still going to fall. Yeah. Because... Now, I'm not blaming you, Matthew. I mean, this is your fault, but it's not something bad you did. I remembered that something got disconnected from like the camera view and the player model or something like that. So something's up in the sky still. Yes. And that is the first person position, I guess. So I need the first person position. Really? What am I moving? Now I'm kind of scared, honestly. Shouldn't this be... Wait, we got that. Okay. So somehow... No. Are we using the nicer camera? You mean for me or for Unity? For me, no. I mean, I'm covering the cheaper camera with my hand. Move player root. The problem, boys, is that the camera and the player are disconnected somehow. But I feel like, shouldn't this just be... No. Are we using Cinemachine? I have no idea what that is. So look, over here on the right hand, this top right hand thing, if I move that, okay, but wait, there's the camera. So what am I moving? First person position. Oh, it's coming back to me now. This stuff, I feel like canvas, no. I feel like this stuff here should be under capsule. Oh. Okay, maybe not. Oh. And you're not going to let me undo that, are you? Oh. You're not going to let me Control Z that. Huh. All right, boys. Oh, you know what that means. That means we restart Unity. So that's what that means. Okay, let's try that again. Oh, yeah. We should probably use Cinemachine. I have no idea what Cinemachine is. Went down a deep hole, and one of the things I found was Cinemachine. What the hell is this Cinemachine thing of which you speak? You know what? I don't trust it unless it comes from Matthew. Oh, no. Oh, is it just some type of camera library thing? That's what it looks like. It doesn't look like it's actual renderer or anything. It looks like it's just some type of camera controller with maybe some like built-in behaviors and things, and other like split view. So it looks like it's just like some camera library. Okay, you were in prefab edit mode. Oh, whoops. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh shit! It's still broken. Okay. How do I get this part up here on the right-hand side? Cinemachine is... Okay, calm down. I'll get to Cinemachine. Okay. Okay, wait a minute. Okay. Right now, I need to figure out how to get... Okay, I'm going to move the capsule. I'm going to move the capsule up. No. No, I have a better idea. Just wait a minute. Get... Reset... -- hard. Okay. You can see my message. What is this? I checked that in earlier today because I took my I have my personal Mac and I have my work Mac. Oh my God. Let me tell you something. You can't put laptops in checked bags anymore. You can't. It's like I don't know what they'll do. They'll probably confiscate it. But you can't put laptops in checked bags anymore. And I wanted to travel with two laptops. I wanted to travel with my work laptop, and I wanted to travel with my personal laptop. And what a pain in the ass! What a pain in the ass! Oh my God, traveling over Africa, through Africa, and then South America, and then back home with two laptops. Do not recommend. Do not recommend. Okay, all right, let's try this again. Okay, so we're here. Okay, I just want to move. Okay, I'm moving them. Okay, I'm going to make sure player is selected. I don't know why the canvas is doing that, but I'm going to... Okay. Okay. This isn't so bad. We're getting there. All right, we're getting there, boys. We're doing it. All right, we'll get the Cinemachine. All right, come on. Oh, no. I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Player is still selected. Okay, we didn't screw this up. Okay, and he's close to the ground. Okay, I'm liking the way this looks. I'm liking it. Okay. Oh, wait. He's over here. Okay, let's see what happens. We should make the canvas a separate object. We'll make it easier to work with the player object too. Okay. All right, let's see. Okay, there's everybody. Okay, that's floating on the ground. Okay, so they're shooting at me, but they're not chasing me, and I think that's probably because I need to rebake the mesh. Okay, so that's good. So I remember the fact that I have to rebake the mesh. I just don't remember where that is. Terrain group? Terrain. Nav mesh. Okay. No. Oh, wait. Bake. But why do I have so many of them? What did I do? Okay, but these other ones don't. Oh, these are like the sisters. Oh, that's right. I remember this now. It's coming back to me. Oh, you know what? I don't think I ever put a nav mesh on. Okay. So I see the issue. Maybe Matthew knows the answer for this. So let me explain what I did. I wanted to make the island bigger. So I added a bunch of terrain like neighbors, okay? And then I moved the entire city over to the side as I built the island up the way I wanted it. And then I moved the city back. Now, here's the thing. Only one of the tiles, and that what I mean is terrain tiles. Only one of the terrain tiles, the original one, has a nav mesh surface. So, can I add a nav mesh surface to every one of them and bake them individually? So how would an NPC go from one tile to the other? It seems like you would have to have one encompassing nav mesh surface. Whereas I guess I can rebake this one, right? I can rebake this. But this is just for the original one, which has the nav mesh surface. But if I look at the nav mesh surface for, okay, it's doing something. But does it make sense what I'm doing? Does it make sense? Not sure says, oh wow, we have a segmented map. Yes, because I wanted the map to be bigger. And so, what is going on here? What's happening? We need some music. I found some music just for you guys too. Waiting for Unity's code in Unity Editor core module to finish executing. All right. This is Bolivian rap from like the early 2000s. So it's not just Bolivian rap. It's old school Bolivian rap. Okay. I'm starting to think Unity is locked. Okay. David Gillemter contributed to file storage concepts through his work on live streams, a model that organizes electronic documents in time-ordered stream. Interesting. It may bake each tile here, so give it a couple. Okay, so it might be baking each tile, even though the nav mesh surface is only added to one. Okay, I mean, yeah, I'll believe you. All right, we'll give it some time. In the meantime, I did have an agenda. So while I was gone for a couple of months, I started a document talking about things that like I wanted to talk about the next time that I got in front of you guys. But now I'm like, Stop Killing Games is one of the things I would like to talk about, but maybe we'll save that for Monday. Because I actually uploaded a video while I was in Africa about Stop Killing Games because it pissed me off so bad. Because now, I want to stop myself. Because I want to approach it with, it's still working. I want to approach the Stop Killing Games movement with as much of an open mind as possible. And also, I want to, because I posted this video, which was my knee-jerk reaction, which was that the movement is stupid. It's stupid. But then people on the video, they commented, it was like, well, you know, instead of reacting to a reaction about Stop Killing Games, why don't you actually research and find out what Stop Killing Games is about? Which is a fair point. And I did do that a little bit, and I have to say that the movement is still retarded. As using Nashore's word. Yeah, Stop Killing Games is fucking retarded. Yes. Number one thing for me is that not everyone knew what the goal of the movement was. Well, the thing that really pissed me off is like, they throw out these abstract concepts. You know what? Like well, the game has to be in a playable state. Just make sure. All we're asking is if you buy a game and then you abandon it, well, then the game should be in a playable state. What the fuck is a playable state? Like, literally, and this is what I said in my video. Think about, like, World of Warcraft, right? Like, if Blizzard, like, let's just say people stopped playing World of Warcraft and it wasn't making any money and they were going to sunset it. Which they'll probably never do, but let's just say, what's a playable state for World of Warcraft? Like, where I can just load the game up and walk around the world? Because even that's probably really considerable. Like, a lot of data. Like, but they're just like, it just needs to be in a playable state. Like, but without defining what a playable state is. Like, what is a playable state? You got to define that. And then the video I watched that I reacted to, it was just like, well, they're not asking anybody to give over any proprietary information. And then literally 5 minutes later in the same video, the guy says, well, then the company just hands over the code. And it's like, what? What? And it's also like these people think that, like, massive MMORPGs, they think that, like, MMORPGs are like the server side of it is like some self-contained system, where I guarantee you nowadays that massive multiplayer games, online games, are comprised of mini systems, not just one single executable running on a server somewhere. No, I promise you that it is several different processes talking to a database and some type of streaming system and some type of, you've got, like, load balancing, and you've got, like, query systems. Like, there are probably dozens of services involved in running something like World of Warcraft, or I don't know, pick another. World of Warcraft's the only one I can think of, but I guarantee you that with these games, the server end of them is probably comprised of many different services interacting with one another, some of which are probably licensed by the company itself. Blizzard probably has a license with so-and-so and so-and-so in order to use this database or in order to use this library. Like, so it's like an emotional child asking for something, but they don't know what it is. They just want to be able to play their game. Oh my God. So many dependencies, can't hand that over. Exactly. Yeah, no, you can't. You can't. And then also, and like, because like the video I responded to, it was like, well, they wouldn't have to give over any proprietary information. What? These people, they don't know what goes into software development. And then the other thing I was thinking of is, like, let's assume that they got this passed. Let's assume they got this passed. Does that mean, what about for services like Evernote? Do you remember Evernote? I don't know if Evernote is still a thing. It probably is. But a game at the end of the day is just a computer program. So what about computer programs that have some type of online system that you purchase the program, you have access to this online system, and then it gets sunsetted? What about those? Why would those not be affected under this? Like, so it is such a stupid movement, because they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they want. They just want to be able to kill the orcs. An example of this is, Matthew says, an example of this actually working and setting up your own Minecraft server via server binaries and hosted it yourself. But this cannot be applied to many other products. Yes. And like, one of the things I said on my video was, I do think, because I think today it is illegal to reverse engineer, or companies can come after you, like, if you reverse engineer something. I do think that people should be allowed to reverse engineer. Like, actually, now I wonder about that. I might have to reconsider that. I would say, in my non-legal opinion, in my non-lawyer opinion, I would say that if the game is to be sunset, then people should be able to reverse engineer. Because I think that makes sense. Because I'm going to stick with WoW as an example. I'm just going to stick with WoW. I do not think it is fair if people reverse engineered WoW today and then started, oh, you don't have to pay Blizzard anymore. You can come over to our server, and now Blizzard loses money. I do think that is a bit unfair. However, if Blizzard said, hey, we're not going to, WoW's going away, then I see no problem with people reverse engineering it in order to have their own server. Yeah, I think that's a reasonable take. You can't sell reverse engineered code. Right. Yeah, I'm still thinking about that. Like, I don't necessarily. Yeah, I mean, because I think it was Sony. I feel like I remember seeing or reading something where Sony was going after. I think it was with Star Wars Galaxies. They were going after the people who were reverse engineering Star Wars Galaxies, even though they had stopped supporting Star Wars Galaxies years prior. And I don't see anything wrong with that. Like, if the game is, if Sony's no longer making it and people want to reverse engineer it, I don't see a problem with that. Yeah, but oh my God, the stop killing games thing though. Oh, it's so. It just needs to be in a playable state. It just needs to be in a playable state. Now, I do agree because there was some car racing game or something that they used as an example where you bought the game and then the game would basically phone home to make sure that the game could still be played, and then you just played locally. I do think that's kind of shitty, right? Like, if the only reason the game is reaching out to the internet is to make sure that, like, oh, you can still play it, like that seems kind of crappy. Like what was the name of the game? Stop. What's up with my internet? All right, I'm aborting this. I have a feeling that, like, it feels. Wow. Am I even still streaming? Are you guys still there? Unity is taking up over 100 gigs of RAM. Your computer is on the struggle bus. Yeah. We're killing Unity. Okay. All right. I think that might be a bad idea. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at master. We're going to see where master is. Get. Yeah, this is borked at this point. Need to do it another way. Yeah, we'll go to master. We'll see where. Oh, get reset hard. Get checkout. No, but what I was saying, so there was like a racing game that they were using as an example for stop killing games, where, from what I understand, it had an online component, but it also had a single player component. And then when the company shut down the servers for the online component, the single player component was also unusable. So that kind of thing, I get that part of the argument. I get that. Like, if you buy a single player game but there's some remote control where the company can be like, nope, that game can't be played anymore. Like, that's shitty. That shouldn't be allowed. But this whole thing of, like, you just got to leave the game in a playable state. No, it's idiotic. It's stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. You literally do not know what you are talking about. Well, the devs can just hand over the code. Fucking idiots. And, like, the whole thing with the guy, Pirate Software, the second puberty guy. Oh, like, I don't like him very much, but, like, they just raked him over the coals, or railed him over the coal, raked him over the coal, whatever it's called, whatever it is. But they just reamed him a new asshole and are constantly like, how one YouTuber destroyed his career, how one YouTuber went from a favorite to the worst enemy on the internet. And it's all about Stop Killing Games, because he dared speak out against Stop Killing Games. Because, and I have to say, as pretentious and as fake as he is with his voice modulator, he's absolutely right about Stop Killing Games. He is 100% right that these people asking for this, they don't know what they want. They literally do not know what they want. They just know that they want to kill orcs. They still want to be able to kill goblins. A game would have to be built from the ground up with all of this in mind and can't be applied for existing games. Yes. And that was another thing they wanted to do. Well, then, we can make it so that, companies have to start doing this. Like, no, because now you're going to put unreasonable expectations, which is going to hamper development. It's going to hamper innovation. And no. And also why? None of it makes sense. And again, I go back to the question of why would you stop at games for this? Because like I said, at the end of the day, a game is nothing but a computer program. It's nothing but a program. So what about what about other Evernote was a good example. But basically any program that has some online component to it, and then the company stops supporting it. And the analogy I made, which I was kind of proud of on my video. I don't know if you watched the video, but the analogy that I made on my video was, it's like, imagine you're living in Detroit for some reason. I don't know. I would have wished that on my worst enemy, but just imagine you're in Detroit and all the KFCs there are going to you know what? We're closing down. We're not going to be in Detroit anymore. So now you're going to require KFC to give out the recipe to their fried chicken to everybody in Detroit because, it's just dumb. It's not a good analogy, but oh God, it still pisses me off. Let's see. He got a job because his dad worked for. I've watched a lot of videos about him. I don't mind him too much. But I do think him changing his voice, which I think it's pretty obvious he is. I think it's very obvious that he's using some modulation on his voice. Let's be real. And then his explanation is that his doctor said he went through second puberty. Really? No, he's using a modulator. But he was right. He was right about this. He's right about this. His manager said how he was a shit employee. Oh, yeah, the woman. I saw that video. It was basically stolen valor, unlike us real game devs here in stream. Damn straight. That damn straight, Matthew. That's what we are. We are game devs. All right. Okay, so let me just load that back up and see where we're at. Literally, just I don't know where. I don't remember. I remember thinking about the inventory a lot. I remember working on in my mind working on it. Ooh, it's already 9. Man, I am so full. I ate so much food today. I pigged out. I'm sad that what's his name isn't here. Razman. Because Razman sent me he sent me a few messages while I was gone. I'm trying to find them. Okay. So he sent me. Okay, so this is what Razman sent me while I was gone. He sent me this. C++ devs, when there's thousands of lines of code, 0.4 seconds faster than... So this was my response to him. So he sent me this, obviously poking fun at me for being a C++ dev. When their 1,000-line code is 0.4 seconds faster than a 10-line code of Python code. Yes. But my point, and what I said to him, is that in some cases, in computer science or in software development, 0.4 seconds is a lifetime. And 0.4 seconds can make all the difference between a laggy, unusable experience and smooth as butter. So that's my only point. 0.4 seconds, and when it comes to a CPU, 0.4 seconds is a long time. It's a long time. What's this one? Okay, I can show this like this.
By big tech companies for software interviews. And earlier this year, this guy named Roy Lee created a software that uses AI to cheat on coding interviews. And he actually fooled a bunch of companies. But now Meta has officially announced all this cheating AI interview thing. It's all legal. Yes, you can use AI on your interviews. But that's it.
And this is what I said. This is what I said back in May, is that I told you guys about how we interviewed at my job. We interviewed this one guy who was so obviously using AI. And I said, and I talked on this stream, I'm pretty sure I did, about how it's only going to get worse. And so I said, the solution is you create harder problems and allow the candidate to use AI. And that's what this video is. And as I said to Razman, I said, I'm always right. Because he sent me that and he said something like, what did he say? He said, this is what you were saying. And he was correct. Oh, and he sent me something else. I feel you do the same. Now, what is this? Oh, this is with Linus Torvald, telling another developer that his code is garbage. I don't do that so much. Linus is known for being really brutal with his code reviews and just being a bit of a jerk, if you will. It's part of my language. But Linus, the creator of Linux, he's known for being a bit of a not such a nice guy. So, but I don't do that. I don't do that on my code reviews. I don't. I will. No, I'm not a jerk in my code reviews. I'm not. I mean, there was this one junior developer. I really liked him, but he was obviously very junior, and he would often over-engineer things, and so I think one of the things that took me, and I'm just going to be humble bragging all night tonight. You know how like when you as a programmer you started these jobs as a young programmer, at least I did, and then there were these old guys there, and they were the old guys that like they wrote the code base, they maintained it, they were like the wizards, the gurus, or the old developer guys, and I guess it took me a while to realize that I am one of those old guys now, and so this young developer guy, I kind of I liked him and I wanted to take him under my wing, so to speak, because he was like he's kind of insecure, but he was always trying really hard. And sometimes he was trying a little too hard because he was over engineering things and he was over complicating things. And he had this one code. I did this one code review of his, and it wasn't bad. It was just really, really over engineered. It was really, he did too much. And I was like, I get it, right? Like as programmers, we want to write all the cool stuff. Like we want all the, we're like, oh, that's a great idea. I want to do that. Oh, this is another great idea. I want to do that. But you have to know when to stop. You have to know that like, yes, these 6 ideas are really cool, but we only need 2. And so I remember telling him something to the extent of like sometimes, because I still do this to this day. I've been programming professionally for going on 30 years, but I still today will talk things over with coworkers. Now, granted, I will usually talk them over with the more senior coworkers that are closer to my level, where there's like 2 people in particular I'm thinking of, and not so much the younger guys, but I still talk things over, and that's what I recommended to him. I was like, the next time that you want to write something, and you have an idea of how you want to do it, I recommend you. And I was trying to be. I mean, I was as nice as I could. I was like, I recommend you reach out to one of our coworkers and you talk it over with them. And I told him, it was like, I'm not saying you have to come out to me, but somebody, just bounce your ideas off of them, and it can really help. And sometimes I think and I'm sure this has happened to you, Matthew, maybe even you also, not sure, but sometimes just typing out the problem, right? Like, because a lot of my communication with work people is on Teams or on Slack. And so you got to sit there and you got to type the problem out, right? And then you're changing the way you're wording the problem because you need to explain it to them in the way you're thinking about it. But then as you're typing it out, you kind of come to certain realizations just by typing it out. Like you'll come to the realization of like, oh, this is what So sometimes you don't even necessarily need to talk to the person. You just type the problem out. So anyway, but I reckon, that's probably the harshest I've ever been on a PR, which I don't think actually was that harsh. Mulan, come here. Mulan. So I don't know. I'm not really a dick on my PRs. I'm not. good to see you, green guy. Why don't you come over here? Why don't you go kill yourself for me? No. Oh, I love that. I love it. I mean, the game is done as far as I'm concerned. It's done. Like, what more do you want? Matthew says, definitely. Many times I wrote comments in order of what I need the code to do. Makes it much easier than going code first. Yep. Yeah, I've had to write white papers for idiots. Yep. I started writing a white paper. Maybe that's what we should do on Monday. Finish my white paper. No, let me tell you my idea. And then I'm going to close the stream out. I mean, we accomplished absolutely... Well, you know what? I almost said we accomplished absolutely nothing tonight. But you know what? What's important is we had time together. That's what's important. We had this time together to say hi to old friends that we haven't seen in a while. But my idea... Here's my idea of... my white paper idea. And it's going to revolutionize elections. All right, let me explain it. I'm going to get... So, wait. Wait. Okay, I just wanted a blank document just to kind of like type scratch stuff on. Okay, so here's my idea. All right, you go into the vote, like you go to vote. You go to vote, and what will happen is you... Well, somehow, like you'll put your vote in, right? You'll vote for, you'll vote for Trump, Harris, because that's who's going to run. It's going to be Donald Trump and Kamala Harris running in 2028. So you go and you vote for Donald Trump and Kamala Harris on the same ticket, right? Because that's who you vote for. And then maybe you vote no on question 1. I don't know what question 1 is, but you voted no for it, right? And then for question 2, you voted 2 years. Again, I don't know what this is, but you voted for it. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. Wait, how did this work? First, the results, you hash them. You get it. How did this work? Now I don't remember how it worked. The hash was important, but I can't remember why. But we'll come back to the hash. But let's say you go and you vote, and then you get a receipt. You will get a receipt for your vote. The receipt will contain a public key and a private key. That will be your receipt, okay? And what they can do with this now. The public key and the private key, the idea is that they will be generated at the time of you voting. And like, I don't know how it works in England, but in the United States, well, in my state where I live, and I guess also not sure, is when you go vote, the terminal in which you vote doesn't know who you are. You go to a table, you tell them your name, and then they tell you to go to a certain thing. Now, I suppose it is possible that they could type in like Addie is voting at Terminal A right now, and then they could come and then they could maybe in theory they could tie it back to me, right? Like if they really wanted to. They're not supposed to. It's but let's assume that they don't. So this is a similar thing, right? Let's just go with that basis where the terminal is completely anonymous. So you walk up to the terminal and it's completely anonymous. And you put in your votes, and then from that point you either get like a paper receipt or you can enter an email or whatever it is. But somehow you get this public-private key combination. And then what happens is the government, they will only, like the terminal itself will only save the public key to the vote. And then at the end of the vote, like at the end of the day, the government or the voting authority, whoever, they can literally publish just a list of public keys and how that public key voted. So it's still completely anonymous, right? And so they just published this huge list of public keys. Key 1 voted for Trump, and and then no, and then 2, and then key 2 voted for Biden, and yes, and 2, and just so on and so on and so on. And then what happens is this gives the public a way to audit the vote while maintaining anonymity. And then the point of the private key is so that if you saw your public key and it was like, let's say you had key 3 or whatever it is, and then Trump and no and 2, and you could be like, wait, no, this is my vote because it has my public key, and I voted for Biden. And then you could prove, that's what so it saves the hash. The hash would be on your receipt to hash the way that you voted. And then the private key, but the hash would include the private key or the public key. I can't remember how I did it, but it could include both the keys actually. And then, but basically what it would do is you could prove that you voted, that if the government was publishing bad information, you could say, no, that's my public key. I can prove it's my public key because here's the corresponding private key. And then if you use that, should have the hash will then match to the way that I say I voted. So basically that's my idea, that basically using public key, private key, and hashing in order to do elections in a way that I think are secure, and that would give people a way to audit their own vote. And then then the government publishes this huge list of millions and millions of votes. It's going to be really difficult for them to do any shenanigans. Receipts are inherently bad. No, they're not. Why are receipts inherently bad? Tell me why receipts are inherently bad. Why are they inherently bad? You're inherently bad, not sure. That's what I think about this. Or we could do it the way they do it in England. I don't know what that means. Oh. Okay. I'm doing a little. Okay. Oh, okay. All this doesn't matter. They know how many people voted for each precinct. Problem is, spouse will steal that private key. Oh, Lord. That's like saying we shouldn't have credit cards because somebody might steal the credit card. I don't know. Pay to vote will become a thing. Paying homeless people to vote for your candidate. Okay. But why does one problem negate a potential solution to another problem? Right? Like, I don't understand the argument here. That some people might find deception or fraud. People will find other ways to do fraud. So you shouldn't protect against one way to do fraud. I don't understand the argument. I don't get it. No, well, I don't know, boys. I don't know. But I do know that it is 9:13, and I'm going to take that little boy on a walk. A walk? Oh, he's not interested. Oh, here he is. Come here, boy. Come here. Come here. Come say hi. Come here. I want you to come say hi to everybody. Come here. Oh. Any kind of proof will allow coercion. Any kind of proof will... How does that... But it sounds like you're saying any kind of proof will increase coercion. Coercion already exists. There's nothing today stopping people from paying homeless to vote for your candidate. There's nothing stopping that today. So what this idea does, it says, hey, I can prove that I voted a certain way. And then the government can also be like, we can prove that you didn't, because that's where the hash comes in. So if things line up. So basically, things are going to line up. The way in which things line up will tell you who's telling the truth mathematically. So, but yeah, that doesn't stop people from paying homeless people to vote. That's true. I'm not sure what the point of that is, though. Yeah, but now there is a receipt of who they voted for. Oh, so you're saying that the homeless person could prove, like, hey, I'll pay you $500 if you go vote for candidate X, and then the homeless person come out and say, hey, I voted for candidate X. Here's the proof. Give me my $500. That's what you're saying. I don't see. I mean, I don't see that. I don't see that. I don't see that. So you're saying the only thing that stops people from paying people to vote a certain way today is that there's no proof that the person actually voted that way. All right. I mean, I guess, but I would still say this is a greater. I would still say that the assurance that the government is not manipulating the numbers is a better good. And I'm not saying that this is the perfect method. Maybe there's a better method, but I'm saying some method of doing that is better than no method of doing that. I would say that the net positive of being able to prove the integrity of the vote is better than the possible coercion that might happen as a result. That's what I'm saying. Sacred ballot is sacred, and it still can be sacred, right? So, for example, you don't have to get a receipt. It's still sacred. Don't have to get a receipt. Imagine large families also. Bring me your receipt. Bring me your receipt. I guess. But again, I still don't see that being. I still see a greater good out of being able to prove the integrity than any possible coercion. Yeah. All right, boys. Well, I'm going to take this little boy on a walk. Hello. Did you say hello to everybody, Muwan? Say hello. Say hello. We're going to go on a big, long WALK. And as for you guys, I will be back possibly, probably, more than likely over the weekend because my wife is not home. I am home alone, just me, the dog, and the 2 cats. So I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I'll probably be sitting in this chair quite a lot, probably working on this game because I do want to work on it. It has been a while. I would like to get some work done on it. I'll tell you, like, I did not enjoy working on my Mac on it too much, right? That was a horribly worded sentence. I tried to work on the game on my Mac, but it was just too cramped. It's just too cramped. And so I ended up just doing other things. But now that I'm home, I want to get some work done on this. And I want to, maybe the receipt is tied to biometric information and can only be verified in person. Yeah. But then the problem is then it's not anonymous anymore. Or maybe your thumbprint is the private key. Or yeah, we'd have to figure that out. Well, okay, instead you need to go to the government to confirm your vote. Yeah. Yeah, that's not a terrible idea. They don't hand you a receipt. Instead, you need to go to the government office to confirm your vote. Okay. Man, it's not a terrible idea. Like your thumbprint proves that you voted that way. And that way at the government, yeah, okay. Anyway, so I may be back tomorrow. I probably will be. Don't know when. You know how I do it on the weekends. If I am not back for some weird reason, I will definitely be back on Monday. And Monday is a holiday. Matthew, take work off on Monday. It's a holiday. I mean, it's the United States, so it's the world's holiday. It's really the world's holiday on Monday. Labor Day weekend, the unofficial end of summer. And honestly, I tell you, like I went to Southern Africa and South America to escape the heat. I think I timed it really well. Like I left on June 19th and literally the following week was nothing but 90s. And then I believe up until last week, it was nothing but 90s pretty much. And now it's just been beautiful 70s here. Matthew says, I'll take a U.S. holiday, no problem. Monday's a holiday. But boys, if I don't see you over the weekend, have a great weekend. I probably will see you over the weekend. Well, I'll be here. Hopefully you will be too. And then I'll just, yeah. So I'm going to take this little boy out. Have a great night. It was good. It's good to be back. It's good to be talking to you guys. And we're gonna have some fun, and we're gonna get some more stuff done on this game. Promise. We're gonna do some programming. We're gonna do some programming. All right, guys. I'll talk to you soon. All right. Bye bye.